Hello and welcome to GPTV on the most beautiful Tuesday, the 17th of October, as we roll towards the end of the year. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer. Welcome all. And we're really getting to the thick of it now, getting into the full-on thick part of spring. We are fully engaged, fully excited. There's a lot going on. A busy
There
weekend.
is a lot going on.
How'd you pull up on Sunday
well,
night?
Gary, the first thing I'm just going to say as I look into the camera, this is going to be a very moderated edition, because what you can't see, viewers, is sitting to the left of Gary and I is a young work experience student that we've got doing a trial with Gary Peer and Associates. He's always aspired to being a real estate agent, and we're always happy to take young people with low aspirations in life to come and do some work experience.
I mean,
with us.
basically, if you've got no hope in school, this is your best chance you've got. Really, I think that's.
Do you know what? It's interesting as I look around our industry, Gary, yourself and myself obviously included, is that some of the best real estate agents that we know, including the two of us, some of the worst performers academically.
It's a good career for dunces. Let's just call it as it is. Although, funnily enough, and I don't know how this genetically occurred, and I'm almost concerned about it, that your son and my son both happened to do very well academically, which was a long way away from anywhere where we were, because we spent a lot of time in the corner, and getting the cane and the strap, which a lot of young people wouldn't understand the concept of that. But and around the legs, got one around the legs every now and then as well. So we were always in trouble at school. Yet they did all right, but still chosen to be real estate.
I know.
Go figure. They're bucking the trend. So
they could have been scientists. They could
got
have
lawyers, doctors, geniuses. Actuaries.
The world was their oyster,
and all they did is real estate.
Correct.
I don't know if we should be proud or disappointed of them, Phil, but anyway, that's
disappointed.
I think so.
It's clearly.
I think so.
It's clearly the go-to word here.
I think so.
Gary, let's just get back into real estate, because this is a real estate show. That's why viewers tune in. Although some viewers say we only tune in for the ridiculous banter.
Which viewers say that? Why don't you name them?
There was one.
There's
viewer.
one.
No,
one person. It's probably the only person that watches it.
I won't name and shame that viewer.
Yeah. Okay.
Gary.
Fair enough.
But we've just had a very busy weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Because here we are now in the middle of October.
Yes, we are.
And we only have 7 weekends to go before the end of the year. So
can you hear the clock? Can you feel? Can you hear the drums, Fernando? The clock is ticking, Phil. Time. The hourglass is slowly filling up, Phil. We are running out of time. Over to you. Yep.
We're now in the thick of spring.
Yep, we are.
And gee, it's busy, Gary. We had 29 auctions on the weekend. We sold 22 out of 29 for a 76% clearance rate against the industry average, which came in at 64%. So again, the wonderful team at Gary Peer and Associates smashing things out of the park. We did pass in some properties though on the weekend, Gary, that are absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, some beauties, isn't there? Not many. I didn't pass in many at all.
Well, Gary, 24%.
So 24%.
Well, we sold 76%.
Okay, against the industry average of?
Gary, I'm talking about us. We sold 76%.
Against the industry average of? Is there any reason why we can't do it?
This is viewers who I have to work with. We sold 76%.
I get your point.
24% of our properties are unsold.
So we've got a 24% failure rate? Is that what you're saying? Is that where it is now?
Do you know,
so what's happened?
Viewers, I should really have 90% of the business instead of 50% of the business, because this is the sort of thing I have to put up with. Having said that, I'm almost used to it. Where was I? I was talking about the properties that we passed in on the weekend, Gary. Absolutely fabulous. They've all got an asking price on them, and those viewers are the properties that I would go to instantly because they now have an asking price, and I think they all represent great value.
And don't mistake the jocularity of me saying a 24% failure, because it's not a failure, just they haven't just realised yet the price that they're going to achieve. Of course, I'm not covering up, Philip, because some people take life very seriously, and and whilst there's a lot of difficulty and challenges in the world, especially right now, we just bring some joy, and we like to bring some jocularity into the world. A bit of sunshine.
You're like a ray of sunshine, Gary.
Yeah.
Or you're like a rainbow.
A rainbow
where people, you drive along the road and you see a rainbow.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous, but everybody smiles when they see a rainbow.
They do. Do you think they're going to say, "There's Gary and Philip" now when they say that rainbow?
I think rainbows and people like you do bring joy to the world, and I love you for it.
And
Gary.
It needs some joy right now,
I love
Phil.
you for it.
No question about it. But let's just get back to talking a little bit bit about property.
Yes.
Can I just get you back on track now?
Yes.
76% against the industry average of
64%.
Let's put up the towers because we've done better than the industry yet again. Happy to say that, Phil.
Yes.
We have got a few properties to focus. Look, I reckon that we haven't sold. I reckon Cambia Grove. Now that's an interesting home. Let's put it up on the screen before we sort of get into some more banter and some other sales. But Cambia Grove, I reckon, is the most sensational opportunity, Phil, and it's been in the family for something like 50 years. Was owned by a very, very iconic and significant person. I won't talk exactly about the achievements and the life of the person who owned it because I don't know whether I'm able to. But this is an incredible home, Philip, and an incredible opportunity. Tell us a bit about it.
First of all, Cambia Grove is in the epicentre of the Golden Mile, Caulfield North.
For sure.
It's on the north side of the street, so you've got a north-facing back garden. It's a beautiful period home with magnificent charm. It's the sort of home you can move straight into, but obviously explore how you might renovate or refurbish as the years go by. The next door property, Gary, was a similar home, and the owners of that next door property have done the most incredible renovation. They're about to move in. Source of inspiration for the one that we're selling. North-facing land, a period home, and again, Cambia, just one of the best streets.
And a big block of
I
land.
don't think that it'll last long because it's got an asking price now of $2,295,000.
That's a buy. That is
which
a buy.
I think
That's
for
a
the
buy.
epicentre of the Golden Mile is a screamingly good buy.
And I like the fact that you've got like the before and after because you've got the home there and then you've got the one next door that's already been renovated. So it's almost like saying, here's the home and here's what you can do with it.
Before and after.
How often do we do that?
Unfolding in front of you.
Very, very considerate of the neighbours to do that for us, Phil. Look, GPTV hits Miami this week in a very big way, Phil, and I think we need to talk about that. We've got to send our regards, if not our love, to John and Fran, who have been to Australia, have gone back to Florida, Philip, or I shouldn't say...
and you had a coffee with them when
I did.
And I missed out on that. So I just want to say a cheerio to them both.
Yes.
I did meet him, but I didn't get the opportunity to share a meal or a coffee as you did. And he just keeps sending us information in, and we love you for it.
And we love the photo here because we've now got a peer approach in the sunny Pinellas. Phil, do you know where the Pinellas are?
The Pinellas. No.
Are you going to try to bluff your way through and pretend that you do or not?
I would say that the Pinellas, if I were going to have a guess at this, the Pinellas, Gary, are quite clearly an area just out of Miami, which is half swampland where it hits the sea, and you know those boats that you always see, those with the big fan on the back.
Oh yeah, those ones that go through the swamps and stuff.
Swamps, that you go to the Pinellas if you want to go on one of those boats.
Do you know what? That could be. I mean, that's just like making it up on the spot, which is brilliant.
How was it?
No, it sounded convincing, and I tell you what, if I didn't know you better, I would have believed you.
Do a swamp tour of the Pinellas.
Yeah,
exactly.
Maybe John can start a business there because you know he's an astute businessman. Maybe the Pinellas where it is. And here, of course, is a photo of the Gary Pier bag on display with the water, beautiful bay, or I don't know if it's a bay or ocean, but John will tell us in the background. But it's just fantastic.
And first GPTV, that's not you, John, because you're there at the Pinellas. But first GPTV viewer to write in and tell us what is the Pinellas.
Some tickets to the movies.
Tickets to the movies.
Yeah, tell us where the Pinellas are, and we'll give you some tickets to the movies. There
Do you
it
know,
is.
also down in the Pinellas, Gary, because it's a very fertile area.
Oh yeah.
And the Pinellas is well known for the growing of pineapples.
Yes, the pineapple in the Pinellas. We love it. It's pineapple country
from the Pinellas.
Well, I think that's how it got its name. I think that's where the pineapple got its name from because the Pinellas were there first with the pineapples, and they said this native fruit, Philip.
Correct.
What should we name it? And they said let's name it pineapple
after the Pinellas.
After Pinellas. So there we go.
And if you've got an interesting word that you would like to send in to GPTV, where we will give it definition of meaning, where we'll
tell you what it
on
means.
The spot, let us know.
We're going to redefine the entire English alphabet for everybody. Completely redo it all.
Come on, can we talk about what happened on the weekend?
Yeah, okay.
I had an auction in King Street. Can you just check to see whether it's
I'll get there. Don't move me along.
Not.
You know what? In the words of Pauline Hanson, I won't be rushed and I won't be silenced.
I just want to shout out because
it's probably the only time I'm ever going to quote her.
The owner's husband of King Street whose name is Julian, and I won't give your surname out, Julian, don't worry, but a bit of a shout out.
And he's clever, and he still wants to do business with us.
Correct.
How does that work?
I don't know. Sometimes we surprise
we get
ourselves.
some clever people.
But Julian, it was a pleasure working for you and your family.
Thank you.
And I'm so pleased that we had a competitive auction there, Gary.
We did,
We
Phil.
had 3 people bidding.
We did. Prices undisclosed, Philip, but the range was 1.3 to 1.43. It sold over the range.
Over the top of the range, and just the most delightful people, so thank you.
So, Phil, my start on Saturday morning was in Bignell Road in East Bentley.
I hear, finally, you actually had an auction that was somewhat similar to what I do 10 or 12 times per weekend, where it goes on
turn
and
it up.
on and on and
Turn it
on
up.
and
No,
on.
you know
and
what?
you took a whole lot of bids and you were so exhausted at the end. Poor dear.
I'll tell you the difference.
I hear that Leon Gusenfitter saw you working so hard that he actually got out and he just started doing this to you in the middle of the auction because you were so exhausted.
Look, Phil,
poor love.
Firstly, the only thing that goes on and on and on at your auctions are you usually. In this case, it was the bidders that were going on and on and on and on. And I had these two bidders, Phil, and let me tell you, every single time there was an increase, I had to go to the first, second and third and final call. And then, of course, it was thousands and 500s. It went up a lot.
Yeah.
And it actually was a great result at the end, selling for $1 million.
Good auction is a long auction.
Yeah, $1,280,500.
And I believe you took about 100 bids at that auction. Or
I reckon it was 100 bids or so, Phil. It was quite exhausting, and thankfully I didn't have an auction afterwards, or I would have been late to it. But in fact, I wanted to come to King Street, and I missed it because you were there, and we plan our auctions very carefully on the weekend.
We do.
So I wasn't able to make it, unfortunately. So I'm sorry to those vendors who would have loved to have been there. But what an amazing auction! Just kept going and going on. Phil, while I was there was all happening in Beaconsfield Parade, and Jeremy Rosen's there. 33 at 225 Beaconsfield Parade, along with Sally Zellman and Lamore. Sold that for $1,460,000, Phil, which is just right in the middle of our range. Very nice, nice and compliant there in terms of everybody doing the right
viewers,
thing.
I think this is a bit of a segue to talk about. In fact, we've got so much to talk about. I'm going to be very brief.
Yeah, I think you should be.
But a lot of viewers and a lot of buyers need to understand that the ranges, quite often we're selling in the range. Sometimes at the bottom of the range, sometimes in the middle of the range, and sometimes, of course, over the top of the range.
And I think, Phil, some buyers that have missed properties that have been particularly popular, have gone over the range, feel that, everything has to go over the range, but it doesn't. Sometimes in a rising market particularly, a lot, even the bulk of properties go over the range, but in a more settled and balanced market, which I feel that we're in, even though it's a strong market, a lot of properties selling in the range, such as 47 Parkmore Road in Bentley East, thanks to the vendor there. That one was sold for $1,790,000, Philip, which is inside its range. And well done again to the auctioneer of that particular property, which was you, I think. You were the auctioneer for that. Is that right, Parkmore Road? Because I know
Most
that
probably.
Yeah. Do you have any idea what's even going on?
Do you know what, Gary? I have a diary. I have a very full diary. I know where I'm going on the hour.
But how was it? That was only Saturday, and you've forgotten it already. Look, I really worry. I mean, I've got to tell you. I think if you're going to sell with Philip Kingston as the auctioneer, I'd get in now because I don't know how many years he's got in him.
I know where to go.
Yeah, I'll tell you where to go.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that, yes, I did do Parkmore Road.
You got it, did you? Yeah, thank you. Because we actually did have that for sale a few years ago, and then they went off to another.
Parkmore Road. Now I know exactly where I was. That's a great house.
Welcome back down to Earth. Glad that you landed. You park a spaceship over there, and you've got out.
Lovely crowd, lovely house, and loveliest of vendors.
They are the loveliest of vendors. They're living in Queensland.
Yeah, we went inside. Did you just disclose the price?
No, but I will now because it is disclosed. Yes. It sold for
$1,790,000.
I think I did. Yeah, $1,790,000. I did disclose the price. Yeah.
So
now I'm losing it.
We said to the vendors, because we went inside at $1,750,000.
We did. Yep.
And the vendors said, "Look, if that's the best price, we will take it, but we would love more." And I said to them, "Look, there's every chance that if we put it on the market now, we will get more."
Yes.
But I counselled them about the fact that they'd have to be happy with $1,750,000,
which they were,
because we weren't sure whether it would continue.
And it was in their range, and they accepted that, and it went.
So
and
we put
off
it on
it went.
the market, Gary, and got another $40,000. I've got to tell you, on balance, going on the market is generally the best strategy.
And would it be kind of a little bit nasty or inappropriate to say it was with another agent that couldn't sell it, or maybe I should sell it?
Well, it would be nasty, but you've said it, so...
No, I'm not going to say it,
Nasty sometimes is your middle name.
No, don't be like that, Philip. To Ash Grove, another very, very competitive auction, Philip. Price undisclosed, but this apartment, someone rocked up on the day, as sometimes happens, and people people ask us, vendors say, "Will anyone come on the day?" And we say, "It's not likely, but it's possible." And here, lo and behold, Philip, it happened. A very popular one with 4 bidders going very strongly, well above the range, which was 6 to 660. In fact, there wasn't such a great reaction in the first week. We actually pulled the range back and ended up selling way above that reduced range. Excellent. So there you go.
Change of strategy.
Had to happen. 14 Ontario Street. Well, this was with the same family for a long, long time, Philip. And congratulations to them for selling this property. A very delightful family who had that home for a long time. Lots of family memories. And Philip, it was sold to another lovely family.
I've got to tell you, Gary, not one to milk my own applause.
No, well then don't. Let's move on.
I'm not one to do that.
No, but he's about to. Yeah.
I would just like to say that obviously the joy of being in real estate with auctions is auctions, as you know, are unscripted.
They are unscripted. We don't know what's going to happen.
We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we know what we're going to do.
And we know what may happen,
but
not what will happen.
At the end of the day, you don't know what a buyer is going to do. You don't know what the crowd energy is going to be.
Yep.
And I just want to say that my spiel at the start of that auction, I was very proud of that spiel.
Good on you. Well, I'm glad you are.
And
if you can get your arm around there, pat yourself on the back and let's move on. Phil, let's talk about the weekend coming up. And we can't wait for the weekend because we've got a commercial auction. Simon Radolnik, that commercial gun that he is, he does a lot of residential stuff as well. And he is
a man of
many talents, Phil.
Not only many talents, Gary, but long experience. So he's got the shop in Glen
If you've
Huntly
got
Road.
Simon on your team, you're lucky.
It's a great opportunity for owner-occupiers because the shop is vacant, and we've done that strategically to allow that for owner-occupiers. But it's got a fabulous dwelling upstairs with a separate entrance that also comes in from Glen Huntly Road. That is currently leased, so you can get the income while you're thinking about what you can do with the shop. But I've got to tell you, Gary, I reckon these shops, Glen Huntly Road, Hawthorne Road, in these strips, you know, they sell for not much more than what you can buy an apartment for.
That's true.
And I reckon they're great. I reckon they're great because you get land, you get a commercial tenant, sometimes a residential tenant. They're actually really clever investments.
And some of them are more affordable than you might think as well. You look past the shop, you think, it's going to be millions of dollars. And some of them get sold for $600, $800, $900,
$1.5 million.
As they do. You're right. So, don't always like agreeing with you, but I'm going to have to at this particular junction.
You have to agree with me when I'm right, which I find you agree with me a lot.
Not often, not that often, but sometimes. Phil, let's move into Saturday. We've got 10 auctions and we're over 9 different suburbs.
My Lord, I'm going to be busy.
And you are going to be busy.
I'm going to be busy.
You've had busier, but you will be busy.
I know.
Let's kick off at 10:30. We're going to be in Wilson Street, Murrumbeena. David Thompson, who, again, another real estate icon. We've got so many with us, Philip. We're very lucky. And he's going to be auctioning for
our people are our strength, Gary.
And we didn't even talk about that property that we sold in Murrumbeena because we had a sale just short of $4 million, Philip, in Murrumbeena. Got reported on the news. We'll talk a bit more about it next week, actually. Let's make a bit more noise on it.
From our Carnegie Murrumbeena operation.
He's a gun.
He's only been with us for a relatively short period of time.
He's a gun.
But he's a super bloke and on
superstar.
Top of it, doing some amazing work. So
on Murrumbeena, 4 at 5, Wilson Street, Murrumbeena, being auctioned by David Thompson at 10:30.
In conjunction with Dan Dyson. That's a really good 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1-car space apartment. I love those little gems because they're really affordable, particularly as an investment, Gary. By the time you work out some structured finance, the rent pays for part of the structured finance.
It does.
I think they're really good investments. And of course, we are not qualified to give you investment advice, so please speak to your accountant before you buy an investment property. And
based on our advice.
Don't take up smoking either.
Don't do that, and don't take notice of anything we're saying, really.
Correct.
Phil, we're talking about real estate icons. We've gone to Simon Radolnik, to David Thompson. Now we're going to go to Matthew Morley, another legend in real estate, well known.
Let's talk up Matthew Morley, Gary, as we're standing here. Because Lucy Morley, who's somewhat related to Matthew Morley.
Well, not somewhat related.
Well, somewhat.
How do you say somewhat? They're married. What's somewhat?
Well, Gary, they might not describe their relationship of one of marriage. They might be. I don't
ridiculous.
know.
They're very
they
happily
share the same surname. But the reason we're talking up Matthew Morley is twofold. Firstly, he's a super bloke.
He is.
With massive experience.
He is.
But secondly, his wife Lucy is sitting in the chair
exactly right over there. But if she wasn't here, we'd still be just as positive. Anyway, he is a great auctioneer, and he's going to be auctioning 15 at 131 Brighton Road, Elwood. Tell us a bit about that. That's 10:30 on Saturday.
Fabulous 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1-car space apartment. Gary, check out the beautiful timber floors in that apartment. That is a beautiful apartment. And, you know, anything you can get in Elwood, circa $500,000, you can almost buy with your eyes closed.
It's triple auction action at 10:30, Philip, and the third in the trio is the auction that I'll be meeting you at on Caulfield Cup Day morning, Philip, at 18 Armadale Street,
Can
Armadale.
I suggest that you all come down and watch this auction, because we auctioned next door, Gary.
You did.
And I was at my effervescent best.
You were.
So I thought.
Yes.
But I did upset a few of the local Armadale residents that are somewhat conservative.
Well, they're quite sensitive, some of them.
Actually, Matthew Morley was there. And Matthew's got his finger on the pulse of what's polite and what's not.
Yes.
And I did see Matthew standing across the road.
Yes, shuddering,
not so sure about what I said.
Well, you know, that's how it goes, Phil. Sometimes, you know, if you were too sensitive about every single person's sensitivity about every single thing, you wouldn't be able to do anything.
But
really.
I must say, we do rely on our team, because if you think about it, Gary, as an auctioneer,
rely on your team to clean up your mess. Is that what you're saying?
To kind of keep us in check, because as an auctioneer, viewers, when you arrive at the auction, your adrenaline starts to rise.
Yep.
Again, everything's unscripted. And sometimes you say things that you wish you hadn't. In my case, often. In your case, less often, Gary. Only less often because you do less auctions and less work.
Fair enough. I reckon
Anyway.
my percentage per auction of offending is a lot less than yours.
Probably.
Anyway,
18 Armadale
but
Street.
you know what? Can I just say there really isn't that much offence. We're because we are actually just mucking around, and some people don't like jocularity.
Very serious when it comes to
exactly
getting the
right.
best price for our vendors.
And never want to upset
Armadale
anyone.
Street, the most fantastic location, the most beautiful house, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, off-street car parking, a super deep back garden, so you're getting a lot of land and you're walking distance to everywhere.
There's been a lot of interest in that property. Look forward to seeing you there on Saturday morning at 10:30. Philip at 11:30. I beseech you to sell in Seat Street in Caulfield South at
So I was
11:30.
wondering what you could do with that, and that was rather clever. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking for 2 cars, and one of the many benefits of this property is it's a beautiful home with character, but it also sits on 690 square metres of prime Caulfield South land.
If you'd like to come to 515 Kooyong Road, Gardenvale at 11:30 a.m. on Saturday, you're welcome to do so, but you will see a soul stick on the board because that has been sold, Philip.
507 square metres of land, well handled by Daniel Peer and Arlene Joffe, a super pair that are working together and doing so much great
And
work.
congratulations to the vendor, delightful people. We're back in Brighton Road, Phil. We're just up the road from Matthew's auction at 11:30. This time, Jeremy Rosens is having a crack at selling 12 at 119 Brighton Road.
I
Elwood.
love this apartment, Gary. It's a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment, but if you were to walk into that apartment, I reckon it's a good 30% bigger than most 1 bedroom apartments. So that is a great start in life.
You know what, Philip? They say that a Leopold doesn't change its spots, and that's certainly the case at 2 at 32 Leopold Street, which Mark Kirkham's been handling, and you're going to be auctioning at 12:30 on Saturday.
Gary, a fabulous single-story villa, 1 of 2, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, wrap-around garden areas. That is a fabulous home.
Now, we don't do much business in Eildon, Philip, but we do some business in St Kilda, and I'm talking Eildon Road, St Kilda, which goes at 1:30 p.m. Tell us about this
Oh, you
magnificent
think
property.
this is a setup, Gary, because Lucy Morley is sitting here, as we've already said, but we keep mentioning Matthew Morley's name.
Yes, he keeps popping
and
up.
he is handling this incredible mid-century modernist classic, one of only 2. It's the entire top floor. Matthew Morley, Jeremy Rosens have been handling the property. I have auction honours. I love that apartment. And Eildon, if you've never been to Eildon Street or Eildon Road in St Kilda.
It's a nice winding tree-lined avenue.
Not only that, but you've got some incredible houses there, Gary, and it's just at the back of Fitzroy Street. So you've got the wonderful opportunities to walk to the wine bars in Fitzroy Street, stagger home to Eildon, where it's a suburban oasis.
Yeah, lovely Art Deco feel right through that street, Phil. A lot of beautiful homes from that era. We're going to be
I
back.
would say more post-war, Gary.
Maybe so.
Art Deco.
You can say that,
after
but you
all
haven't
these
noticed
years
maybe the
in
Art
real
Deco
estate,
homes.
You reckon you'd work out what the style of architecture is. Anyway, that's why they pay me the big bucks.
Maybe I'll go and take some photos and further enlighten you, Phil. But in
Yeah,
the meantime,
maybe.
let's go back to Brighton Road for the 3rd time on Saturday, the 3rd and final time in Brighton Road. This time GO4 at 126 Brighton Road. Jeremy Rosen's back to auction again.
With the wonderful Daniel Michmacher, who we love so much. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, a modern building and an exceptional size apartment.
Phil, you're going to be in Almerta Road in Bentley East at 2:30 to bring down the curtain on a busy day, meeting up with Mark Kirkham. Tell us about it.
Check out the facade of this property, Gary. I absolutely love that facade. This is 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, plenty of off-street car parking, a wonderful parcel of land, beautiful home throughout. I love property like that, Gary, because you're getting a block of land, but you're getting a very livable house. So, great investment benefits there.
We are going to work you hard on Sunday, Phil. We've got 6 auctions, which is pretty much right up there with your threshold. I think you've done 7 before, but you got 6 of the finest.
Actually done, my record number is 8.
Is that
in a
right?
day.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
you're not going to go to 8, so this will be a breeze for you. Just the 6, Phil. We're going to start off, and I'll be with you on Sunday all day, hovering around, cleaning up some of your mess. But we will be starting off at 10:30 at 28 Griffith Street in Caulfield South. Daniel Michmacher handling this sale.
Gary, love this property. I love Griffiths and I love these single-storey, flat roof 1970s houses. This is a ripper on 566 square metres of land. That is a beautiful home, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, undercover car parking via that carport at the front for 2 cars. It really is a stunning property.
And Phil, at 11:30, we can give praise to the Lord in Caulfield East. We would usually be auctioning this on Saturday, but of course it's Cup Day. on Saturday, Caulfield
Yes.
Cup Day. So we're going to be
Yes.
jumping this one to Sunday. Tell us about 4B Lord Street in Caulfield East.
Well, Gary, as you say, good Lord, this is fabulous. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, totally magnificent throughout. If you want to see the best of the best, come to Lord Street because that is terrific. And again, the wonderful Daniel Michmacher and Jeremy Rosen's handling that property.
I will be joining you, Philip, for this iconic property that's going up on this huge block of land, Glen Ira Road, 253A Glen Ira Road. Now, this is a magnificent Art Deco
This
home,
time
Phil.
you've got it right, although, Gary, this is more Spanish mission than it
Yes, I
is
suppose
Art
so.
Deco.
I'm going to get an Art Deco home on the screens eventually. Go
4
on.
bedrooms and a study, 2.5 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage, a swimming pool on the north side, 1,045 square metres of land. Doesn't get any bigger or better than that. And I would urge viewers to go online and have a look at the video of this property because that is stunning. And it's actually, most of its frontage is, of course, it's on the corner of Glen Ira, but it's on the corner of Hellensley.
Yes,
so
most of it runs
your car
along, yeah,
comes
yeah.
in from Hellensley. All of the house kind of respects Hellensley. You've got the northern orientation. That is a fabulous home.
It's a Hellensley Road home with a Glen Ira Road address, Phil.
Correct.
And certainly is an outstanding one. So that's at 12:30. I'm looking forward to being there at that home. And then, Philip, we part ways at 1:30 because you're going to be in Oran Grove, this time 2 at 23 Oran Grove.
Gary, an incredible property because this is 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, although it could easily be converted to 2 full bathrooms subject to council approval.
Good spot.
This is only one of 3, so there's only 3 in the building. And this has got a undercover car space and it's got its own courtyard garden on title. So it's the first floor apartment and you do have everything there, but you've got a ground floor courtyard that is yours to do with what you wish, subject to council approval.
Now, we've come from Glen Ira Road. I'm just going to go up the road, Phil, if that's okay with you. I'm going to auction one at 472 Glen Ira Road, Caulfield, which has been incredibly popular. And I'm not surprised Arlene and Daniel are handling this one.
You're lucky to be doing the auction there. That's a really good home. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage, courtyard garden, contemporary architecture, immaculate throughout. That's a beautiful home.
As is this home in Lock Avenue, Philip, which is a fantastic address, of course, and a prestigious street in East St Kilda.
The headline says solid 70s classic with pure potential.
Love that.
I think that really perfectly describes this property. 650 square metres of land with the most livable, lovable 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom family home. You can move into it, you can add to it, you can do a renovation, you can contemplate what you might do with the land. That is really smart buying.
Double auction action at 2:30 p.m, Philip. We're going to be in Alma Road. Also in East St Kilda, Leo Samuels, the auctioneer. Viv Samuel's been handling it.
Yes, Gary, this is just down the road from our office. So you've got the tram in Dandenong Road on your doorstep and the Alma Village on your doorstep. This is the most fabulous 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. That is a great property and best location.
We're bringing down the curtain at 3:30. We've got 2 auctions at that time. One of those is going to be at 55B Bundeera Road.
That is about as
Caulfield
good
South.
a property as it's ever
I agree
going
with
to
you.
get.
I
That
agree
is
with you.
incredible because that's the home with everything. 4 bedrooms, 3 magnificent bathrooms, a lock-up garage, a second car space. But wait for this, Gary. It's north-facing at the back. You've got an alfresco undercover entertaining area that overlooks your garden, deck and swimming pool. Bit of a surprise package there.
No question about it, Philip. We're going to bring down the curtain at 3:30. Jeremy Rosens has the final auction honours of the day. 10 at 226 Inkerman Street.
Gary,
St Kilda
a
East.
really well-priced 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space apartment. Beautifully renovated throughout, so there's not a cent to spend. And you've got all of Carlisle Street on your doorstep. You've got the train station at the Balaclava train station. So that's a great apartment.
3 quick properties to wrap up with, Philip, that aren't being auctioned this weekend, but are certainly noteworthy and we'd like to draw attention to them. One of those is in Hawthorne Road, 1 to 4 at 82 Hawthorne Road. What a terrific
Incredible property, Gary. 836 square metres of land. So you get this block of land that's directly opposite Caulfield Park. You also get a Tudor building, a Tudor style building, which has got 4 very large apartments on it. So you're getting land, you're getting 4 apartments, you're getting a cash flow, you're getting a rental yield. That is, I think, probably one of the smartest investment plays known to the market for years.
Indeed, I'll agree with that, Philip. And I'll also like to draw attention to 52 Parnell Street, Elswick. This is a great looking property, Philip. I think you've done the video for me there.
I have, Gary.
And I love this home.
Apparently built around 1912. Been in the same family's hands for 30 years. on a corner allotment of 908 square metres, approximately.
North facing,
north
back garden,
facing
yep.
at the back. It's a home that you can move straight into, Gary, because that is period living with modern luxuries at its best.
You'll feel like a king, Phil, in this other home we're going to review. You'll feel like a king at number 50 Charles Street in Brighton East. Maureen Mazero's brought this to the market. Tell us a bit about
So happy that he's finally the king, Gary,
Yep.
because we did wonder whether he would ever get that job,
Yes.
and it's really...
Well, his mother just refused to pass away, didn't she? Or hand over,
She
Phil?
did,
Yep.
and she lived to a ripe old age.
Good
And
luck
now
to
we
her.
have King Charles, and to all of the monarchists out there, I'm sure he's going to do a fabulous job. This is 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage, a swimming pool. This, I think, is the ultimate family home, and skillfully handled by Maureen Mazaro, Glenn Bricker and Mark Kirkham, a mighty trio.
It's a big wrap, Phil. We're right in the midst of spring. It's
Gee,
exciting.
Gary.
There's lots happening. There's lots of
There's a
sales. There's
lot
lots of
being
offerings.
discussed,
A lot
isn't
being
there?
discussed. But I think that's enough quite clearly now. I think that's it. Let's just call a wrap to this episode. We'll look forward to bringing you all the news on GPTV, a late October edition next week. Back on Tuesday, I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Philip Kingston. Thanks for watching right through to the end, because it has been a long edition.